What's going on, everybody? Dots Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you guys an updated version of my add-ons guide for the Elder Scrolls Online Flames of Ambition patch. This is a guide that I always like to keep pretty much up to date because I do get asked about my add-ons quite a lot on my stream and on my YouTube videos, and when ESO tends to patch its game, a lot of times a lot of add-ons break and things change, and I feel like I always have to change up some stuff with my UI each patch, so I do like to just keep this video up to date for people that like my user interface and do want to copy it. Now, I did not really do very much with my user interface in terms of actually customizing the add-ons themselves. Typically, I have only really installed add-ons that I can install and just use right out the box. So there is not a lot of configuration that you are going to have to do with these add-ons, but I will mention the settings for the ones that do require a little bit of changing. And I will also go over my base game settings, as I do get asked about those quite a lot. But kicking off with our add-ons, the first one that we have is Action Duration Reminder. This is by far my most important add-on in my opinion. Basically what it does is on the bar, my ability bar below, it will put numbers for my skills and how long they actually have left. So if I use my Volatile Armor buff, it shows that I have 18, 17, 16 seconds left on it, so I know when I need to refresh it. And when I swap bars, it will also put it above my health bar, so I can keep track of that buff on the back bar, so I know when I need to swap to it and change it. Very important add-on. I highly recommend it. It's really good. The only things that I really changed is I do turn on multiple target tracking. I do turn off clear when combat ends, and I do move the shift bar. So if you click move shift bar, basically what the shift bar is when you use an ability on one bar and switch to the other bar. This is now the shift bar. Now by default, it's right above your ability bar, and it'll bump your HP bar up and down, and I personally find that very obnoxious. So what I do is I click move shift bar and just move it to be above my HP bar, and boom, I'm pretty much done. But that's pretty much what Action Duration Reminder does. It's a great add-on, highly recommend it. The next one that I have is Circonians add-on Selector. Now that is what makes my add-on user interface look like this, and I can make different add-on packs based off of what I'm doing, what I want to load or not load when I'm doing a certain thing. So for example, if I'm doing PvE, I'll have certain add-ons that will have used. When I'm doing Cyrodiil, I basically will just go and click my Cyrodiil pack, click reload UI, and boom, it will reload my UI for only my Cyrodiil add-ons, because, you know, I don't need half of this stuff when I'm in PvP, only when I'm in PvE, or if I'm PvEing, there's other add-ons that I want to actually be active. And this just makes it really nice to be able to just quickly load and unload the add-ons that I need at any given time to optimize my game's performance. One thing you also do want to make sure that you have checked is allow out-of-date add-ons, because many of these add-ons, they still work, but they are, quote, out of date. And so by clicking this, you will still be able to use them. Now, the next two add-ons that I have, you don't need to install if you're not doing Asylum Sanctorium, the raid, but Asylum Sanctorium Status Panel and Asylum Tracker are both really good add-ons when it comes to doing VAS +2. When I was doing progression on that, I had these add-ons installed, and I still have them I still do have them installed because I would like to finish that raid one day. So if you are doing that raid though and progging through it, I do highly recommend these. The next add-on that I have is BugCatcher. Just helps capture bugs that come up with my UI. Otherwise, you're going to get nice Lua errors that pop up on your screen while you're playing, and it's really annoying. So BugCatcher will basically prevent those from popping up. The next add-on that we have is Combat Metrics. Combat Metrics is the gold standard DPS add-on for the Elder Scrolls Online. Basically, what you could do is you can set an add-on keybind. What you can do is you go to Settings, Controls, Add-on Keybinds, and any add-on here that requires a keybind, you set them here. But basically, you set a keybind and it'll bring up a window here. So like if I was to do a parse on a target tell me, it would show me all this really pertinent information. It's a very good add-on to help you improve your damage and to see how you've done. And there's a little window that you can have in the top left as well that shows you what your DPS is or your HPS, and shows you what portion of your group's damage you are contributing, which is really helpful. And so that window, that small window, I believe is the live report window. So I do turn that on, unlock it, move it to the top left for me personally, do compact, and then I lock it again to leave it in place. But otherwise, I didn't really do too much else to the add-on. I do 5 fights and I do 10 megs of fight memory. So do have that online, but I could just scroll through these so you guys can really see the settings. I have turned off a PvP, light mode off, light mode and PvP on, but I mean, typically I'll disable combat metrics when I go into PvP anyway, so I'm not really too worried about this. The next add-on that we have is Daily Alchemy. So basically what Daily Alchemy does is it makes it so that when you get an Alchemy Writ and then you go to an Alchemy station, it automatically does the Writ for you. Very, very easy add-on. The next add-on that I have is DarkUI. DarkUI is what gives my user interface this night mode-like appearance. I like it a lot more than the regular user interface, so I did install it. The next add-on that we have is Dolgubon's Lazy Writ Creator. Basically what this does is whenever you get a Writ, it is like, it's basically like the Daily Alchemy, but for all of the other writs. So basically when you go to the writ board, like just to show you as an example, you can go pick up your writs, automatically grabs them for you. You go here, the text shows red, which means it hasn't been done yet. You do this and it crafts it automatically, and hooray, your writ is done. Now, in terms of settings for this, when you first use Dolgubon for the first time, it'll ask you if you want to customize your settings or just use the default. I personally just use the default, but then I did go into the add-on settings and change a couple of things. I have autocraft on, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure that's like the only thing I turned on. Ceiling protection is on, hide writ announcement on, withdraw writ items on. I have basically all of this stuff turned on except for save master writs and valuable reward alert. Otherwise that's pretty much it. Just turned everything on and just made it as quick and painless as possible. So the next item that we have is dressing room. Now dressing room is a big one for me. Really love dressing room. Basically what it does is it brings up this window when I click a keybind that you have to define in your add-on keybinds, and you can basically save presets for gear and skills for your build. So I have 4 builds that I use on this character, so I basically have them all saved to dressing room, the gear, and the skills. And by clicking set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, I can basically set them up and immediately equip them to my character. If I want to save, I can shift click to save or control click to delete. And in terms of any settings that I had done for this, basically all I did was I set the number of rows and columns to just be exactly what I need. But these are the rest of my settings. Otherwise, if you do want to copy them, but this is pretty much what I have. I just set the rows and columns to the number of builds that I actually use. Our next add-on is going to be a brand new one that I just downloaded called Dynamic CP. Now, I used to use Champion Point Respec, but Champion Point Respec no longer works, so I now use Dynamic CP. And what that does is it places the text above all of the CP stars, so I know what's what, because they're all unlabeled, which is super annoying. And then this now lets me save CP presets. It does, for some reason, or it does have all these like preset ones, which I don't ever use. I wish I could kind of delete them, but I just basically saved my own preset. So I have, you know, my standard green preset, which is my standard green ones. And then I have like MagDK PvP, MagDK PvP for red. And then you can basically apply that preset to your champion points if you want to. If you have a setup that you like, you can hit save and you can save the preset. It just allows you to swap between your champion points nice and quickly. So for example, if you're PvPing or PvEing, you can just come into here, bam, load them up, and you will be good to go. The only thing I did for that add-on is that I just lowered the scale of the window from 100% to 75% because the 100% was a little big. The next add-on that I have is Greyskull. So Greyskull appears at the bottom right of my screen, as you can see over here. Shows me the amount of spell damage I have. I like to use this when I play because I know when my spell damage and my damage is at its highest, so that I can maybe time burst or other damage with my big damage spikes really well. In terms of like any settings for that, I basically just have it as spell damage or weapon damage, again, depending on, you know, if I'm playing a physical damage dealer. And then if you just click your the period to bring up your mouse, you can click this, move it to wherever you want. I personally like it to the right of the ultimate. My next add-on, now that we have Greyskull, is Inventory Insight. This one is an absolute lifesaver, especially if you have a lot of characters and a lot of gear. Basically, what you can do is you can hit a key that you define, and it'll show you the inventory of every character on your account, so you know where all of your gear is. So if I want to know where all of my Zons is, I can search Zon, and it'll show me. Dots has one, Nolnar Kreen has one, Dots Volt has one, so you can see where all of the gear is located and what gear you have on your account. Very helpful if you play multiple characters so that you don't lose track of where things are. The next add-on that I have is map pins. This shows me various map things on my map. So when I go here, I can see a bunch of icons and stuff on the map. If you want to filter those, you can go to filters here and check and uncheck what you care about, but it just shows things like sky shards, lore books, Sigic portals, etc. So it just adds a lot of really helpful information to your map. So I definitely do recommend picking it up. The next item that I have is Master Merchant. I currently have it disabled, but Master Merchant is what I use for trading. So whenever I'm actively trying to sell stuff, I'll enable Master Merchant. And basically what it does is it polls my guild traders to find out how much certain things are worth, and then displays it as a tooltip on my item. And then if I want to sell it, I can just list it to sell. So it's a really good trading add-on. The next add-on that I have is Miat's Stealth Text. So basically what that does is it just adds text to when I am stealthed. You can see it says hidden in green, which means I know I'm not being seen. Yellow means I'm being sus, and then red is detected. That all actually worked out super well. But it just adds that little bit of text to above your sneaking icon, and I find it personally extremely useful, especially if I'm playing something like a Nightblade. The next item that I have is Piece of Candy. So Piece of Candy is what I use if I ever do group PvP. It's basically an ultimate sharing add-on, so I know who has what ultimate and when. The next add-on that I have is Potion Maker. So Potion Maker is an extremely helpful potion crafting add-on. Basically what you can do is you can go to the crafting station and you can choose what traits for your potions or poisons you want. So then you can, select some things, and then you can do search, and it'll search all of the different combinations of potions that you can make, so you can select the right ingredients, make it, and bam, you're good to go. Makes it easier than trying to look up all the ingredients individually to figure out what potion you want to make. So very, very, very good add-on. That guy's just sitting here and dude, he's super sus. Our next add-on is going to be Raid Notifier. So Raid Notifier is the Elder Scrolls Online's gold standard trials add-on or raiding add-on. So if you played World of Warcraft or another MMO for WoW, it's like the equivalent of DBM. So it's just that for Elder Scrolls Online. So if you do raid in any capacity, highly recommend installing this. I have shopping list here. This is enabled. This is like a new thing that came with Master Merchant. I don't have it enabled. I only enable it when I use my Master Merchant. It records your purchases from guild kiosks. I don't know if I don't really use it all too much, but I do enable it whenever Master Merchant's enabled, but it's part of Master Merchant. The next add-on that I have is Taos AP Session. It's basically just like a little add-on that pops up when I PvP that tells me my AP per hour, my kill to death ratio, how much AP I've earned, the next AP to my next alliance rank. So it just gives me some little information when I PvP. The next add-on that I have is Urich's Skill Point Finder. So basically what this add-on does, I don't remember the keybind for it that I have. Oh no, I'm clicking on my keybinds here. Let's go to the add-on keybinds and let's take a look. So if I go to my add-on keybinds, I can see that Urich's is this bracket. So basically I can click this and see what skill points I have not acquired yet, which ones I have acquired, so that if I do need to farm skill points for any reason, I can go find some skill points to use and go get them. The next add-on that I have is Votan's Keybinder. This basically makes your keybinds account wide. No idea how this is not in the game yet, but this add-on takes care of it. So it puts this little check mark next to all of your keybinds to make them account wide. Very, very helpful. The next add-on that I have is Votan's Minimap. That is the Minimap add-on that I have on the right side of my screen. Really, really helpful. So if you want to move this, because this is like the thing I get asked about the most, people hard panic whenever they install Votans, and they're like, oh my God, I can't move it. Where is, what do I do? Just go down to add/ons, okay? Go to Votan's Minimap, scroll down to Appearance, and turn off Lock Border and Size. Go out, use your mouse, move it, and change it to be however you want, and then you can come back and lock it. Pretty simple. And then I just have it turned on at all times, because sometimes it likes to turn the Minimap on, but I always have it on. The next add-on is Votan's Search Box. So this just, very simply puts a search box in my bags so that I can search for things if I want to. Very, very, very helpful add-on. The next one that we have is WeaponCharger. This is a fantastic add-on that automatically charges my weapons with a soul shard whenever it runs out of charge. Amazing add-on, highly recommend it, very straightforward. Final add-on is yet another compass. This is something that I really only use if I'm doing organized group PvP. Basically what it does is it puts a compass right below my mini map, so that if a if like myself or somebody else in my group is calling out enemy locations, I find it a little bit easier to look at the little green compass over here that pops up than the big one up at the top, especially when I'm in the heat of PvP. So I just have it installed for that reason. Now, in terms of my base game settings, in terms of like my gameplay, I have custom colors turned on with it being bright green and bright pink. I do turn off double tap to dodge, do turn on prevent attacking innocents, turn on quick cast ground abilities. I do auto loot with consolidate area loot. And that's about it for gameplay. I don't do anything for camera. For interface, I prefer user ID. I have no chat bubbles turned off, and I do turn on the frame rate latency, and I lock the position at the top right so I can see what my FPS and ping are. The next thing that I have is nameplates. I do turn the nameplates on, don't really change much there. I do turn on the health bars, don't change much there. I leave the alliance indicators on enemy. For social, I turn off the profanity filter. Turn off leaderboard notifications is really, really helpful, just so I don't get notified constantly when people in my, guilds or whatever do stuff. You can adjust all of your text colors down here in social if you are so inclined. For combat, this is one thing I get asked about a lot. Ability bar, always show. Attribute bars, always show. Resource numbers, number and percent. Ultimate number on. This is what allows me to see all of that stuff at the bottom at all times. So if you do want to actually enable that, like I said, it is combat, and it's these three settings right here. I also do turn on combat text. I turn all of that on. And then for buffs and debuffs, I personally do always show, and then I only do target debuffs. My action duration reminder takes care of pretty much everything else, and I really only care about the target's debuffs to make sure that I have all of my proper debuffs and stuff applied, or see what they have applied. So I do turn that on. But besides that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That is my user interface in a nutshell. I think this is one of my quicker UI guides, dude. I'm pretty happy with how that went. In terms of add-on keybinds, I'm just going to scroll through these really slowly so you can see them. Combat metrics, I do the slash for the target fight report. Dressing room, I have comma for show and hide window. Inventory inside, I do the right bracket for the inventory frame. For Urich, I do the left bracket, and that's pretty much all I have. But guys, that is going to be it for my updated add-on guide for the Flames of Ambition patch of ESO. One thing that I'm sure I'm going to get asked about is, but dots, I installed these add-ons and they don't work. What do I do? Basically, when you install your add-ons, I also recommend using minion.gg to install your add-ons. It's really simple. You just install the program, it finds your installment of Elder Scrolls Online, and you can start installing add-ons. When you install these add-ons, this is the most annoying part of installing add-ons for ESO. You have to download like 87 effing libraries in order for all of the add-ons to work. And for some reason, they're not bundled in with the actual add-on installation. So if you install an add-on and the text like this is red and it says you're missing a dependency, click this and see what you're missing. So I'm missing a bunch of history or libraries and stuff. So you could basically, if they're not installed automatically and you don't see them down here in the libraries list, go to use your minion, install these libraries manually, and make sure that they activate whenever your specific add-on is trying to be used. So that is something to keep in mind. There's a long list of libraries. I don't even know if I need half of these anymore. I just installed them as I was using add-ons in the past. So you are going to probably need to go through once you install all of my add-ons. If you do choose to copy my UI, make sure you do have allow out-of-date add-ons checked. If stuff is red or not popping up, go through the list. Like I said, click this little arrow, see what libraries they're missing, install those libraries, reload your UI, and you should be good to go. But guys, on that note, that is going to be it for my add-ons guide. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the video. Any questions about my user interface, feel free to leave a comment below. And guys, of course, subscribe to keep up to date with the Elder Scrolls Online and other MMORPG content that I post here on my YouTube channel. But I appreciate you guys stopping by today. Thank you all very, very much. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next video.